Hey guys, quick heads up, the previous episode of Rant Cafe was 2 weeks ago and it is available on Taku's YouTube channel. For the week after that, we ended up having just a stream where I tried to play Undertale and Nux and Briggs were kind of chilling there with me, making fun of me and so on, so we're not considering it an official Rant Cafe. As always, if you want to watch these live and check out the extra stuff that we don't consider official Rant Cafe, then be sure to follow us on Twitch, link in the description.
Well, in any case, today we will be discussing, since Animac forgot about the whole intro thing, today we will be discussing overrated anime, and we've each selected 2, except for me, who have only selected 1, because I'll be thinking about a second one while the stream goes. As you can tell, we were very prepared for this. We totally didn't come up with the idea 10 minutes ago, right?
Right.
Yes, correct.
Right.
Correct.
I'm glad we're all on the same page here.
Oh shit, we're doing overrated? I thought we were doing underrated. Fuck.
Oh, well.
I'll figure it out.
Don't worry, all good. So if we trigger you, we apologize, but not very sincerely. That's the point.
Yeah, that's kind of like every honest descriptions. It's like,
And at the end of the day,
sorry if
just because
you're
something's
triggered, but not sorry.
just because something's overrated doesn't mean we're saying it's inherently bad, or like it could be still a good series. It's in general the grand like consensus like from the community is that it's like rated, in our opinion, it's rated too highly or is overly praised.
But the problem is that we're not even going to agree, I don't think.
No.
On most of them.
No.
Me and
No.
Animac's taste is the exact opposite.
Yeah, like
It's so
mine
funny
is,
because like
mine
I
is good.
sometimes agree with you guys completely, but sometimes I think I just don't understand where you're coming from, especially, well, Mr. Mac.
You are the one who is insane lunatic.
I know, and I'm so proud of it.
Shout out to Cloud Sheep for following.
I
Yeah.
actually tone it all down for the YouTube stuff. You should see me IRL.
Oh, yeah,
Damn.
I wish. I told you, Weeb 10 House needs to happen. Stop being
Absolutely.
stop being a hikikomori and let's do it, man.
At least pronounce it right. Well, anyway,
I did.
who would like to begin?
I did. You how would you pronounce it?
The right way. Who would like to begin?
Naruto's overrated.
Okay, Briggs likes to begin.
I would
my
I would
God.
in this. It's absolutely
All right,
overrated.
So let's hear your argument before I
what is oh my God.
disagree.
Yeah, before Nux publishes a 1 hour long video on Naruto on his channel, this will be good.
And I'm
This'll be
sure that
good.
video will do amazing because it's extremely popular here in the West. Probably one of the most popular anime like to date, if not like the most. Probably up there with Dragon Ball, right? And in my opinion, it was kind of just average. I don't think it deserved the hype or praise it's gotten, especially considering the studio who animated it. Horrible animation most of the time, horrible filler, horrible pacing. So 45% of the anime was just kind of like garbage to me. I ended up dropping it and reading the manga, which was a much better experience. But even in regards to the manga, there was no way it was meant to be that long. But because it was killing it, they made it longer. It was not like One Piece that has an end goal, is constructed to be a long, ongoing journey. So I feel like Naruto, like it was very, very up and down. I loved the tuning exams. I loved early Naruto, but it was literally like a roller coaster for me. And I just do not think it deserves to be as praised as it's, or the amount of popularity it's gotten. I don't know if I think it's deserved.
Fair enough.
Yeah, well,
I
but
hear a lot of silence right now.
I
do-
like what Nux did right here. I mean, I like what Briggs did right here because he said, "Oh yeah, Nux. So if your video does well, it just proves my point that Naruto is overrated." Boom.
Drops fucking mic, boys.
Hiding in
There's a
public.
big
You were gonna
difference
say
between
something?
Overrated and very popular. Okay.
That's fair enough. I still think people rate it high as well.
Say very popular. I wouldn't say they're necessarily overrated. Now, here's the thing about Naruto. I believe that the first season, the part 1 of Naruto, is underrated. I think that people don't remember how great original Naruto actually was. I mean, I'm talking about not the filler, but the first 4 arcs of Naruto. Until episode 135, we had the Zabuza arc, which was a great start-off arc. Chunin Exams arc, which honestly I think is a classic arc altogether. Search for Tsunade arc, which introduced the Akatsuki and had Jiraiya, and I thought it was one of the best training arcs with Naruto learning the Rasengan. And I thought that was an amazing arc. And the Sasuke retrieval arc with the Sand Ninja showing up was also an amazing arc. So as far as early Naruto, I would argue and say that it's underrated.
See, I
Now,
don't necessarily disagree with that. I'm saying it started off strong, but it slowly went downhill, and the pacing and filler just kind of made that journey all the worse.
I got a question for clarification. So,
Mhm.
are you saying the entire Naruto franchise, everything that has been animated, or are you putting a distinction of just Naruto and separating that from Shippuden?
Oh no, I'm
obviously
definitely including
Boruto
Shippuden.
is
Probably
amazing.
more of an emphasis on Shippuden.
Okay, yeah. How many people really like Shippuden though? Like maybe they do. I'm not as much in
until
this.
the war arc, if I'm not including filler, I like Shippuden.
But would you say
Honestly-
that it's substantially less good than the original Naruto?
I don't know
Yes.
substantially, but I would say it is less good. A lot of the shine that the original Naruto had was, the wide-eyed look at the outside world that we didn't really understand. And Shippuden narrowed it down to the Akatsuki chasing Naruto, which I thought was a downgrade altogether. I still really liked Shippuden until the war arc, and the war arc I wouldn't say it's overrated because I don't think that many people rate it that highly. A lot of people have issues with the war arc, like I do.
Actually, just for fun, I'm also going to state that original Naruto is overrated as well. Someone said to stop being so nice, so I'll stop being so nice. Thinking back, I think a lot of people's perception of Naruto is higher than it actually deserves to be because they watched it when they were kids. I went back and watched the entire original Naruto, and I enjoyed it way less. Chunin exam's still great, but what I realized is I fucking hate Naruto. Like, as a character, as a person, like, he didn't do anything himself. I realized that every battle annoyed me in a little way because every single time it's like, haha, Nine-Tails Fox, attack.
So the thing is, I personally am not the hugest fan of Naruto or Sasuke. Like, both of them are not my favorite characters. I do think that they're relatively well-written characters, but neither of them, I don't really like either of them.
So
But as-
Nux,
Yeah?
wouldn't the right pronunciation according to your logic be Sasuke?
Good one.
I'm here all night. I'm here all night. Please continue.
Do you have anything you'd like to add to the conversation, Anime?
I thought
think so.
the
It's okay.
Naruto.
No need to embarrass yourself with your lack of Narutard understanding because you haven't seen it.
No, yeah, I thought Naruto was so overrated that I didn't even watch it, and that is true like story. Back
Yeah, this is the
Naruto.
guy that hasn't seen most good anime until I recommended them to him.
No, you shut your mouth. Naruto basically was coming out when I was just getting into anime, and I was in that snob phase where I was like, anything that has more than 30 episodes must be shit. So I was in my like Evangelion
You know why he didn't say 25?
ergo proxy phase, So I never ended up getting into Naruto because of that.
25.
Because Gurren Lagann has 27. So he said 30.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood has like 60, and I love it. But
64, fake fan. Anyway, so original Naruto, I'm a huge fan of it, and I also rewatched a lot of it, and I really liked it on the rewatch too. I thought that there are certain details that on my first watching, like as a kid, I did not pick up on completely. Like the fact that in the Tsunade arc itself, Tsunade is a fully developed character. Someone who's suffered through things. And even though I was annoyed that she picked a fight with the 12-year-old Schnook, and wow, she actually won! Big
No way.
surprise. I mean, I was also annoyed that Naruto nine-tailed foxed away his opponents because the theme was supposed to be hard work as opposed to natural talent, at least for a big portion of that. And Naruto had the nine-tailed fox. It wasn't all hard work.
Rock
The
Lee
point
should have
is-
been the protagonist, confirmed.
Rock Lee should have definitely been the protagonist. But I definitely do not think that original Naruto is overrated at all.
Again, I do agree with the statement that overhyped does not equal overrated. But again, because of how bad the fan base is,
That's not fair.
in regards to people who watch Naruto when they were a kid and say it's like, I feel like people definitely still rate it highly if we're gonna say that overpraised
So-
doesn't count.
So the thing is, it's funny. How would you compare it to other shonen anime? Like, what did you
Well-
like better? Early Naruto or My Hero Academia, Black Clover?
Well,
Like, compare
clearly, One Piece is underrated. No shit when
Not
you're
talking
11.
One Piece. Not talking One Piece.
I wonder if anyone got that reference. No shit when you're 11 out of 10. Okay, whatever.
I get it.
No,
I get it now.
Song, but whatever.
What? Okay.
Big
I
Bang
didn't get
Chocolate, Demolition D made a song and it was saying, "Cowboy Bebop's overrated. No shit when you're 11." Whatever. What were you saying? What was I saying again?
You were saying how Naruto is better than My Hero Academia.
It's
Was
not.
he? Was he Nux, or were you saying that?
Well,
I'm just
animation,
wondering. I'm not
animation
talking.
and pacing
okay.
wise, and even
Animation and
honestly,
pacing wise, I think everyone agrees. But story wise and character wise and
character wise,
Theme-wise-
similar for me. Like I realized I don't like Naruto that much. I realized Sasuke's just a fucking bitch. Honestly, fuck Sasuke. Only person I think's worse than Sasuke is Todoroki. So you're comparing two series that I ripped on here. So like,
I
don't know.
love Todoroki. I think Todoroki beats Naruto and Sasuke easily, which is hilarious because I'm supposed to be fighting for Naruto right now. But I think that there's no one in My Hero Academia that I like as much as. Maybe not. But at least in the core cast, I don't like anyone as much as Kakashi or Lee or Jiraiya or even Gaara. These are amazing characters. And
Alright, how about
my favorite characters in My Hero Academia are Mirio. He's amazing. He's up there. I like Endeavor and Stain, but again, they're not core characters at all.
Briggs
You like
Sasuke,
Endeavor,
Todoroki.
fascist.
What's
would you
with
not
this
say-
argument, this rivalry thing?
I don't know, but
Would you not say that the community thinks Naruto is better than My Hero Academia?
I would
Black
not.
Clover?
I
You wouldn't say that?
Not necessarily. I mean, looking at social media altogether, people are praising. I mean, Black Clover, yes, but people are praising My Hero Academia to the high heavens, and I honestly like Naruto better. Definitely early Naruto.
I don't know. They're pretty close for me, and both inferior to like Hunter x Hunter, Yu Yu Hakusho, and
Okay, well.
One Piece, right? So
Well,
like,
agreed, and
I agree
agreed.
with that
That's,
stuff.
that's not part of the.
But
I know. I don't know. I don't know where I'm
am
going with this.
In the chat,
Okay.
please do a Rant Cafe with Mother's Basement and Unique Namosaurus. Yes, that would be a nice stream.
I would love that. You are poison to the open market of ideas. Best part of his video. It was a great video.
yeah, no, that was a very. I watched the whole thing. It was a very interesting video. Like the
Yeah.
thing about Unique Namosaurus, even if you disagree with him, he has good points, and he like provides them like in a non-pseudo intellectual way, in like an actual argumentative way that's respectable.
Okay, I'm gonna take the bait on early Naruto though. I can't really argue for anything for the new one, for Shippuden, but I think that if we're talking about Hiroaka being better or worse, I think that that's almost an unnecessary argument because I think Naruto was somewhat like required, like it's the reason Hiroaka was able to come to be, because it sort of served as that stepping stone that could have allowed these other great shows that came from it. So I'd say at least early stuff. Because, if you look at the lasting impact of something, you look at something like Earthbound, which did really poor on reception or whatever, but then it built like a huge fandom, huge group, and now it's inspired tons of other successful projects. And you can sort of look at what makes a good series or what makes a good game or movie or whatever by looking at its offspring, sort of, and looking at what came from it.
It was it definitely inspired a lot of the shonen of today.
mean-
I feel like the whole reason we were trying to compare is just because I was saying that like in comparison to other shonen, I think it's highly rated, and I think it's maybe part of the reason why it's highly rated is because it inspired all these offspring of it, right?
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with either of you, but I kind of feel like it's almost a straw man argument to the point. Like, how do you define overrated anyway? These are such menial terms that really don't mean anything without context.
Well, that's
But-
why I enjoyed you. Like, I liked how you said that. Like, just because something's hyped or very overpraised doesn't mean it's technically overrated. What's Naruto rated on Mal? I'm curious.
I'm curious about that.
That is
too,
a
actually.
sick idea. That's how you can tell if it's overrated.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
That is such a good idea. Well,
Well,
I'm going there right now.
the fun thing about
7.89.
the fun
7.89. Naruto is underrated. Get
Okay.
out of here.
I'd give it a 6.5.
Get out of here. Are you
I'm just fucking
serious?
around. I think 7.8 is like, it's all right.
Well,
I'd give
pretty
it.
I really thought it would be higher.
8.5.
I thought it would be higher than that too. I thought it was going to be in like above 8s, like Nux's prediction right there. But I think it deserves about a 7.
I think it
Yeah.
deserves an 8.5. Early Naruto 8.5. Shippuden, I don't know. That deserves a 7.8.
my thing
Well, yeah, let's
with
chip it in.
overrated, underrated, I think that it's all very interesting to discuss because in terms of like looking at Naruto, it had a huge impact in the West. It's usually a lot of people's first, exposure to Japanese anime, so it had a huge impact. Now, even years.
Did you say Japanese anime? Is there any other type of anime you'd like to talk about, Animac?
I was probably gonna say Japanese culture or something, but anyways, the point is that Naruto, like if you just look, like you got YouTubers like Swag Kage making videos just on Naruto, getting insanely huge views, even though the show hasn't been airing for years. Now, yeah, it's true we have Boruto, but most
Hell
fans,
yeah, Boruto! Now
but
that's
most
an
fans of Naruto seem to dislike Boruto, and yet Naruto is still such a popular anime. Meanwhile, a lot of these anime like MHA, unless it's airing right now, there isn't much hype for it. People are not making, huge YouTube videos on it. But with Naruto, it's like, it's happening all year round still. So you gotta give it to Naruto in terms of popularity.
I also
Well-
would like to say that Naruto Shippuden is an 8.19 on Mal, which is definitely wrong. If original Naruto is a 7.8, then Naruto Shippuden's easily a 7 to 6.5.
Yeah, I mean that's just the nature of Mal, though. Like the only people who are rating Shippuden are people who've finished Naruto, presumably.
Right.
I
So
will
Sequels, you
rate
can't
it right
count
now.
sequels.
Oh, man, I'm just having fun, guys. Like I don't.
Yeah,
dislike
same
Naruto.
here.
I just know why I dislike Naruto this much, considering I've watched the original 200 episodes at least 4 or 5 times.
The good thing is we're on Twitch, guys, so we don't have like a huge amount of viewers judging us like we would on YouTube. So it's like, even if you say I fucking hate all these beloved anime, not that many people will know.
My next opinion's gonna be even worse, but I'll hand the torch on to someone else.
Oh no, I will destroy you on that. You're done. You're done, bro. Yeah, hiding in public, my friend. Anything you want to say? Because I feel like you've been drowned out by the extroverts.
anything to say on Naruto?
Or
No,
another
your
anime you
own
want to
choice.
talk about.
Okay, well, my own choice. Yeah, sure. I'm ready to fight with some people. I think, according to Nux, at least one person's going to disagree with me. So, my first and more controversial choice, I think. Actually, let me look it up on Mal so I can see just how overrated it is.
God help you, Nux. If
Yeah, I think it's like a 9.
Yeah,
It's a 9.
it's a straight 9. And it's the 12th. It's the 12th ranked of all time on Mal. And it's Clannad After Story. I think that it's not a horrible show. It's not a mess, but it has absolutely nothing of value that is unique to say. And I think that it is essentially from the punch a puppy school of making you cry.
Animac, anything to say?
I need a minute, guys. I need a minute.
Well, fun fact. I have actually never seen Clannad because after like 2 episodes, I dropped it like a couple times. Like I would watch the first 2 episodes, drop it. Watch the first episode, drop it. And
So the thing is, Clannad, the first season, I think is absolute garbage. The After Story, I did derive enjoyment from. Overrated, I would agree. It's slightly overrated. I did, I'm giving Animax some time here. Enjoy your tea. Yeah. All in all, I did not particularly like the original Clannad. I thought Nagisa was worst waifu, and I was not the hugest fan of After Story. I did like it, and I would not have brought it up here because I don't think it's majorly overrated. I just think the first season's terrible. But I kind of agree.
Oh, okay. So at least he didn't say Gurren Lagann, guys, because
Not yet.
this stream would have been fucking over. But no, to me, Clannad After Story is like top 5 of all time. And the one problem is that I feel like I need to rewatch it because I haven't in a long time, and I've been meaning to, and I'm
so excited when you realize.
I keep putting it off. But I love Clannad overall. I think it's a great slice of life anime with magical realism elements. And there are some people who just don't like slice of life anime. They're like, man, this is boring. I want to see some fucking Gundams. So I understand that if that's your taste.
That's not my taste.
You do realize?
No, I'm not saying it's yours necessarily, but like a lot of people just dismiss all slice of life. I'm not like a huge slice of life moe guy or anything like that, but I think that Clannad and Clannad After Story is a good example of a good one. And the reason I love After Story is that, like I said this many times, but instead of just sticking with the high school format that most anime just do because it's comfortable, relatable, blah, 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 they actually show the characters growing up. I think that there are a lot of artistically beautiful things like the music, the imagery, the metaphors. A lot of the stuff is there.
Let's talk some metaphors. Let's talk metaphors. What do you like there?
There are also many tropes, like classic anime tropes with the harem and all that kind of stuff. It started off as a visual novel, right? So, yeah. Granted, I'm not saying it's like, a masterpiece of literature, but I do love the message of Clannad. I love the whole,
What is that message? What's
the idea of family, the importance of family, of overcoming struggle, and the idea that if you truly believe and you truly believe in something and surround yourself with positive energy and you fight, kind of like in Gurren Lagann, you can overcome everything, even space-time, even reality. And
You mean you like that last moment in the show?
Oh, I
like how they waste your episode. They waste 12 episodes making you cry, and then they cuck you and change the ending at the last second.
Yeah, that was good because of willpower and
the
feelings.
Ending is probably the best ending in anime for me personally. I loved it.
Oh,
yeah. Okay, so I want to elaborate a little bit on my punch a puppy philosophy that I was talking about. So I am unlike Nux. Nux is a very incredibly strong man who keeps his tears in. I cannot do that. I cry at freaking everything. So I cried at Clannad for like 3 hours. I was binging it, and it was just like terrible for me. But I do recognize when something's making me cry because I'm an empathetic human being, and when something's making me cry because it means something really impactful and special to me. There's a video I watched that's talking about manipulation and what leads people to say that something causes emotional manipulation. And he was talking about how every time somebody calls something emotionally manipulative, it's not because it's manipulative. Every piece of media is manipulative. It's because it's bad at it. Clannad is one of those examples, I think, because it comes from the school of instead of putting together a really, really intense, unique kind of perspective or philosophy or something, I think it takes the very general, like, oh yeah, wait, are we allowed to spoil this?
Well, you can spoil vaguely, I guess.
Okay. It takes the whole idea of basically like, yeah, you like family, right? Ha, take that. It's literally like Clannad's like, hey guys, I'm really emotional. I'm really well written. Look at this puppy. I'm going to shoot it in the head. Of course you're going to cry. Like, you're a human being. Why wouldn't you cry at something like that? Or
because I got it spoiled
sad.
For me.
Yeah. Or at least feel sad or, bad about it, But that doesn't make the writing good. And I think everything in the story, with exception to, and I pulled him up because I actually don't think this is a bad show, once again. I don't think it's bad. I gave it like a 5.2, which is just a little more than, it's just over average. So 5 is average. I think it's a little better than the average show. But I think the only part of After Story that isn't contrived garbage put in there just to make somebody cry is Yusuke Yoshino, which is the electrician guy. The couple episodes that the main character spends with him after the stuff with Nagisa is the best part of the show. I absolutely love it. If it wasn't for that part, it'd probably be lower. I love that part because there's no reason for him to be there other than he's a character. He's a person in the story. It's like, it's real. It's just for a brief moment, I see a glimpse of like what the show could have been. but I think at almost every other turn and opportunity, everything that's put into the show is put in just so they can punch you with it later. And I think that that's a really unfairly manipulative and not very well written tactic.
I mean, that's one way to look at it. I don't look at it that way at all. I would agree with you that, for example, like Jun Maeda with his music alone can really invoke emotion, and that he uses that a lot. Now, you can look at that as manipulation, but it's something that I like in the show, and I don't think they do it bad. Like you said, you can do it badly or well, and I think it's done well. By the way, Clannad is in the chat. He will not be happy. He's a massive fan of Clannad after. but no, so I understand that, yeah, in Clannad and other anime like Kanon by Jun Maeda and Angel Beats, they really do go for that, sad backstory often, and they explore different characters, and they all seem to have a sad backstory somehow. So I can see how someone might have fatigue from something like that. But I think that overall, it is a good show. And one of the things I like is also the Yusuke stuff, like looking at adults, right? Not just high school kids, but like adults who might have even, had their story earlier. Like he was a rock star. He had his story, his rise, then he had a fall, and now he's just a normal guy, like in the, like happens in the world. It's not just a formulaic sort of plot. You're an underdog and then you become the Hokage or whatever. So I think in that sense, unlike shonen anime, which tend to be more formulaic, I thought the Clannad story was good because it was different. And again, I'm a big idealist, a romantic in the artistic sense, and a optimist. So I loved the ending and the message that I feel that the ending conveys. I love the whole other world stuff, the magical realism. And like I said, I've been meaning to do a video on this for a long time, but I just haven't gotten around to actually rewatching all of Clannad. So then I've been kind of like talking about it vaguely, which I should go back and rewatch it. But yeah, I have to say that Clannad After Story especially is top 5 for me. The original Clannad, I still think it's good, but I don't love it as much as like my brother Gozen. He absolutely loves the first part as well. He said by episode 2 he was all in. To me, it was more like a generic high school show. Like I wouldn't put it any more ahead of like Toradora or Haruhi or those other high school shows. But with Clannad After Story, I really think it moves into greatness levels.
It definitely does something that's unique. Once again, we agree on the Yusuke stuff. I love whenever they actually... I hear an echo.
I also do.
There's an echo.
Say something?
Oh.
And the echo has disappeared.
I wonder if it was because I was really close to my mic and it's coming through my headphones.
That'd be...
Stop sleeping on your mic, Briggs.
Bro, I gotta get right up in there. ASMR style.
Please don't. Only Cyanide Blizzard can do that.
I miss Cyanide Blizzard. We gotta get him back here as a guest one week.
But yeah, I guess I do like whenever the show does do it right. I just feel like they don't do it a lot, and they also don't commit to the themes that I feel like they build up. Honestly, I would rank it a straight point higher if they just didn't cuck the ending and actually stuck to their guns and had some balls.
Yeah, but that's what
it.
I'm sick of those modern day existentialist bullshit.
Oh, well, that's
stories.
fine.
Like,
just don't kill her then.
Like, like Stephen King, his constant negativity. Oh, people are bad and they'll kill you. Fucking Game of Thrones, which I enjoy, but again, George R.R. Martin keeps hitting you over the head with the fact that people are evil and they will kill you. Like, there's too much of that lately, man. And we need, like I said, I'm an idealist and a romantic in the sense of romanticism and idealism to philosophical movements. So I think that we as humanity would be better off if we were more idealistic, if we were more essentialist and a romanticist, and if we stopped being these existentialist, constantly malaise, oh, life's not fair and nothing matters, and I don't believe in anything other than death and nothing, no afterlife, no God, no nothing. Like, I hate that concept philosophically because it's like your life has no fucking meaning. You're going to be unhappy. Everyone around you is going to be unhappy. So I always look at it from that philosophical perspective, and I like to see a good message.
I agree with you 100% on that. I think existentialism is an awful philosophy. Same thing with nihilism. Sartre and Camus were just very, very depressed chain smokers, in my opinion. I mean, they're very smart people, but I'm very well studied on this sort of stuff. I'm actually studying philosophy in college right now.
Nice.
I absolutely agree with what you're saying. I do think that there should be more, like you can have life meaning, you can do this, you can do that. But I don't think that Clannad is a good a good flag bearer of that sort of position and cause, because I feel like it basically takes all of the juice and sadness from existentialism and keeps it, but then doesn't keep the actual message of it by reverting back. Because it's not like let's say this without spoilers somehow. It's not like everything's magically or everything naturally becomes better again after a doubt of bad, because that would be great, right? That would be a great story to show the hope in life, that even when things get bad, they can get better. And there's a lot of shows and stuff that do that. I think even though there's not really a get better type thing, I think Bebop has a lot of that sort of a representation and theme. But I feel like Clannad just, look how bad it is, look how bad it is, look how bad it is, and then the last second, oh, thank goodness that didn't happen. Instead of being like, no, it can get better. It's like, yeah, look, it was better whenever this didn't happen.
Yeah, so,
I feel like
I don't agree with your interpretation, because I think that Clannad After is about overcoming. It's about not losing hope and not turning into the desperation that everyone else is turning to in the face of difficult situations. So, for example, one thing that I really believe in, and like Kamina is my idol in life, and like I believe in Kamina's philosophy, like seriously, unironically, and that is, I call it Kaminic idealism. And it's this idea of just like a radical idealism. It's like, yes, you can actually overcome even something as, real as what happens in Clannad, because I don't want to be bound by what people say is scientific and possible. Like, I want to do the impossible. I want to really believe in that type of thing. So, because I feel like if you can see outside the box, overcome that paradigm, and actually have that kind of open mind and idealism, you can actually create far different options and opportunities in life that you couldn't if you were just stuck in this box. Well, science says this and this says that. Well, like Plato's cave, right? It's the idea of Plato's cave. The people in the cave are stuck in a paradigm. They only see what's possible. They're in the box. But only the philosopher king can go outside of that paradigm and see over the horizon, see what others cannot. The visionary, right?
Mm-hmm. The thing I want to point at is something you said. Because, once again, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I just don't think that Clannad fits what you're saying as the best possible kind of flag bearer of that. So you said, like, one thing specifically is you can make it better, that you can survive and overcome, and eventually it gets better. But you don't see that naturally happen in Clannad. It's just sort of one episode, it's absolutely horrible. The next episode, none of the horrible things ever happen. I feel like there's a lot of shows and examples that do have that sort of victorious, arc of there's all this suffering, there's all this horrible stuff. They go through trial and tribulation and get through all this stuff, and then at the very end, they finally overcome it, and it's this beautiful, momentous moment. But I feel like for Clannad, it was just like, and then I clicked on the next episode, and I was like, what's going on? And then I was like in this absolute state of bliss and euphoria and happiness. But then after I was thinking about it, I was like, but that didn't really make like plot sense. They didn't explain what was going on there. And I've heard people say, and I'm not saying you've said this, so you can put in your own 2 cents on this afterwards, but some people have said that the reason they did that is because they wanted to show the multiple endings of the visual novels, because there are bad endings, there are good endings. So they wanted to do the whole School Days thing where they go for the bad ending, but instead of dedicating to it, they swapped and put the good ending at the end. And I just think as a show, that structure isn't good. That they should, the way that they did it as a plot, taking away the visual novel aspect, I don't feel like the connection between the last 2 episodes is very good or well done. And I don't think it really represents that sort of idealist struggle to make things better. Because he doesn't really make things better. It's just sort of, oh, now everything's good.
Thank you. Yeah, by the way, thank you to, I believe it was Blind Cross for subscribing, and we got some magical crystals from Gingerbeck. Thanks for that as well.
Yummy.
Yeah, so just to address your point, I think that I like the concept of multiple realities, and to be fair, this is introduced, and the magical elements, because you said use the word natural, not natural. It's like the supernatural elements are introduced steadily throughout the show, right? So throughout Clannad, throughout Clannad After Story, so it does build up to that sort of overcoming of what is natural, what is possible, what is realistic. So in that sense, I do think that the show is consistent, and I even like the concept of alternate realities and like as a philosophical idea. So again, in that sense, I guess we do have a different view, because I would say embrace the bliss because of all the negativity around us. Be the one to believe in the impossible, to do the impossible, whereas everyone else is stuck in their own little bubble because they refuse to see beyond the horizon. That would be my kind of interpretation. Although, obviously, I prefer Gurren Lagann to Clannad After Story. I think Gurren Lagann is the superior example. But
I think so too.
But I still like Clannad. And yeah, it's cool to hear someone else studying philosophy, because I have a PhD in political philosophy.
Ah,
yeah.
very cool.
So it's cool to see someone else who actually likes that and is not like a postmodernist or existentialist. Or
Yeah.
one of those people that I think are completely wrong.
I'm like a hardcore Aristotelian in terms of most of my metaphysics and stuff.
Nice. I also love Aristotle. My primary influences are Plato and Rousseau, but I think Aristotle is essential there as well, because I feel like Rousseau kind of takes both Plato and Aristotle in his philosophy. So I think you can't really consider them separately. Plato and Aristotle are both very significant.
Yeah, I'll let you
All
have
that
that as the
education,
final
and you
word.
still got shit taste in anime.
Yeah, I'll let you have the final word on that, so we can move on.
All right, fine. Thank you. I appreciate the civil discussion. We didn't get triggered and kill each other like some people.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Thanks again for the magical crystals, guys. So let's move on to my pick, which is, of course, No Game,
Just fun
No
fact,
Life.
while this was going on, I got 14 copyright claims on my Naruto video that I just uploaded.
Oh,
Hip
shit.
hip! Hooray, everyone!
What the
Hooray!
fuck?
That's why I wasn't, inputting, which is great for everybody, I think. I think no one wanted to hear my take on this because it's not radical, so it's not fun, but at the same time, I kind of agree with hiding in public and everything. And not the hugest fan of Clannad either.
I literally
Although
had
I
nothing
did
to say
like-
'cause I haven't seen it.
Ushio, I think that little arc with Ushio was really touching, I will say. I did not like the last episode. And I was pissed when that arc ended. I thought it was stupid. I also felt like it was a shoot a puppy type thing.
Yeah, I mean, I understand how people could come to the conclusion that, because all of them seem to have some kind of tragic background, almost every character.
And
in some way.
Tomoya is a crap father. Like, a terrible father. And he manages to work past that, and then, 2 days later, boom.
Well, to be fair, he also had a terrible father. But Girthy donated 100 magical purple crystals, so thank you for that.
Yummy.
All right.
So yeah,
anime.
No Game, No Life. We're talking about some No Game, No Life, yo. Yogi, thank you for the crystals. Yogi. No Game, No Life. So I watched this anime expecting it to be so good because everyone was like, yo, this is amazing, bro. You thought Death Note was good? Fuck Death Note, bro. It's all about no game, no. Okay, I don't know if anyone actually said that, but the point
Thank
is...
you, Gingerbeck, for 14 bits for the 14 copyright claims donated right to Animac.
Thank you. I will use those bits to buy Nox
Tissues.
some copyright-free
tears.
music, because I'm gonna bet that it was the music that got...
It was not the music, it was all the footage.
Yeah,
Oh,
I was
wow.
gonna guess the footage because it's such a long video that you probably just, wanted. You probably wanted to extend it as much as possible. The clips.
That sucks. That sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, that's the way of YouTube and tubing. So yeah, No Game No Life. A lot of people told me if you like Code Geass, if you like Death Note, this is the show for you. But I didn't.
It's better.
I didn't think it was anything special at all. I didn't think it was any better than something like Sword Art Online, because
You're fucking insane. What?
no, it's true. There's nothing special about No Game No Life. So they have the two main characters who are cool because they're kind of like smart hacker type characters, right? The brother and sister. And yet the beginning of the fucking show is like incest lollybait. They have that shit in there. To me,
Wait, what's the problem with that?
it felt so contrived to me. It was like, oh, let's throw in this anime trope. And like, first of all, not my thing. Second of all, why make it so blatant? Like, talk about like bad writing and just making something like in there for the sake of it. And then they go into this world and they're so overpowered, but not to an extent of, oh, I understand it. For example, you know, Ellen Light having their battle of wits, and you're like, oh, I see how he tricked them there because he did that. With this is like, oh, well, we were gonna win the chess match. How? Because we were 18 steps ahead of you the whole time. Okay, so can you tell me what 18 steps? No, we were just ahead the whole time. And like
that never happened.
That's
once,
all
okay.
it is.
No,
Like,
that never happened. Did we watch the same anime, or did you watch like Master of Ragnarok or something?
The reason he won the chess battle is because he came from our world and he's seen how dictators are always killed by the people closest to them and assassinated, and he understands about how to increase people's morale. It wasn't even strategies; it was war strategies.
That's why originally he had Shiro play chess, because Shiro's the chess mastermind. She's the pure analytical brain. So she has a computer mind, so she's better at chess. But he realized that this specific chess game is about commanding your troops, not about moving tools, since they're all represented by people. So therefore, he took over because he is the social genius as opposed to the analytical one.
the point is
I mean,
that I felt that the whole thing felt contrived and not real. It didn't feel like logical, I should say, not real.
I had an amazing time watching it.
It
I
didn't
had
feel
such a fun
logical to
time.
me. It felt contrived. And I like that Mr. McHam and Cheese said that No Game No Life in 7 minutes was better than the entire show. I agree with that. But to be fair, the Sword Art Online abridged is
Hey,
also
well,
better.
unfortunately, you didn't read Mick Ham and Cheese's full comment, which said, "Not gonna lie, No Game No Life in 7 minutes was better than any part of the actual anime, not the entirety of the anime." Wow, that was a blatant misquote there, Animac.
Such a small thing.
Oh yeah, I know, classic Noxanor. But I mean, it's true that even like anime like Code Geass and Death Note had issues. I'm not saying they're perfect, but with No Game No Life, I just okay.
First of all,
this is what I didn't like.
You're calling it overrated, right? I
Yes.
mean, I don't. That's the point. We each pick an overrated anime that everyone else agrees with. But I mean, that's kind of how it seems. But you're comparing it to Code Geass and Death Note, two anime that no one says equals No Game No Life. How overrated is a No Game No Life really? Don't compare it to Code Geass and Death Note because those are better, and everyone says that.
I love No Game No Life, but I'm not going to say it's better than Code Geass or
why
Death Note.
don't you-
However,
yeah,
I will
compare
say
it to-
it's more fun, in my opinion.
I think that
Compare
No
it to
Game No
something
Life
that you
is
think it's that people compare it to. Because
No Game No Life is overrated because so many people tell me that they love it, that I gotta watch all this stuff, and when I watched it, I was disappointed, and that's why. So that's why I'm saying it's overrated.
And people do rate it highly. I agree, people do rate it highly, but I also rate it highly, and I think
So do
it
I. I
was
loved it.
a great blend
Cyanide
of, like,
Blizzard.
witty strategy, witty humor, and also just like fun comedy. Good references as well.
Cyanide Blizzard makes a good point. It says these hikikomori neat siblings are geniuses at everything. Where are the obstacles? Where are the challenges? And yeah, they just happen to be in it. And this is the biggest thing that irritates me. It is such otaku pandering. That's what it is. It's like, hey, let's throw in every possible otaku trope. Incest lollybait, cat girl lolly.
I think I just figured out why you hate it. Like,
Ditzy
after
girl.
all this time of arguing with you, I
Ditzy
actually
girl.
finally figured it out.
Ditzy girl,
You went
elf
into
girl.
No Game No Life. You went into No Game No Life expecting Death Note, and you didn't realize it's a comedy.
No, I realize it's a comedy, but it felt contrived. Like I said, they threw in every possible trope. They made these otaku siblings just happen to be brilliant geniuses at everything, and no one can fuck with
Well,
them.
that's
no
why
matter
they
what.
were picked. It's not coincidence. They were picked by God of an alternate world since they're so good at games. It's not like, oh, they could have picked that janitor. That would have been terrible. That's not the story.
And
Yeah.
no,
Have you not
why-
seen? Have you not seen?
Another world.
Have
The
you not
reason why
seen
they were
Goodwill
chosen was
Hunting?
hilarious as well.
Have you
Yes,
not
it
seen
was so
Goodwill?
funny.
So
Like, do you guys
stop,
know the
stop
reason
dissing janitors, bro.
Do you guys know the why they were chosen in the first place? Like, I think it may have been like revealed in the movie or later light novels. I don't, it's fucking hilarious.
Why?
But basically, the entire reason the god brought them to the world was because he wanted a rematch. Because he was a sword loser.
Yeah. It said that in the anime.
Was
I
it
think
in the anime?
last,
Okay.
last episode of the anime, he met up with them.
It was basically like, I'm a sword loser and I wanted a rematch.
And the whole world
you
is the
never get to quit
chessboard.
while you're ahead.
And the whole world is the chessboard.
And also to counter the obstacle thing, I still think just because they're smart and like, or they were brought in because they're like these gaming geniuses, they're facing against other races that are superior to them. For example, they have no problem defeating any of the humans because, or like the humanity, one would say.
Because they're on equal playing field.
They're on equal playing fields and they're smarter than them. That's why they were brought into the world, and they have more experience with games and whatever. Like, whatever. They're never gonna lose to humans. But then they have to play against war beats who are physically stronger than them in a game that has physical requirements and have to figure out a strategy to defeat them.
Oh,
The
can
same
you
thing's gonna
please
apply with the
explain to
elves
me?
who have magical
My
abilities.
favorite fight in the anime was Sora and Shiro against the Flugel. What's her name? The girl where they had this game where they were playing Shiritori, where he says like core of the planet, and he ended up, without her realizing, he got rid of the mantle and the crust of the planet to create a black hole. Yeah, you don't remember that?
Yeah, and he used the fact that like she doesn't have knowledge of like science and the fact that air is made up of like oxygen, hydrogen, blah blah blah. Like he didn't, like he took away just the oxygen, but she added back air or whatever. So he uses the fact that they're not knowledgeable about certain things that they are from, like, because they came from our world, to his advantage. I think every battle that he wins is brilliant, other than the first one where he gets like the royal flush or whatever because of some sleight of hand.
I think. Can you explain to me how they beat that game at the end? Because that was the stupidest thing.
Are you
These
talking about the
people
coin flip?
created the game, and then too bad because Shiro and Sora were 8 steps ahead of them. Haha. And it made no sense how they won.
It did make sense. Would you like me to explain it to you?
Yeah, please explain it to me, please.
Okay, so basically everyone's always lost to the War Beast because they're so much more physically, like she literally defies physics with her her abilities, right? That little fucking cat girl.
Cool
Cutest
beans.
fuck, I
Cool
don't care what
beans,
you
yeah.
say.
You know
but
her
she
name? Wow, we have a hardcore
Pardon?
fan here.
Oh, clearly a hardcore fan. I don't remember anyone's name. Okay. But basically they always win. They're so superior. There's pretty much no way to defeat them. But the only thing that was basically they used that useless chick. I don't know anyone's name to their advantage. They put her on
Steph?
the back of an NPC.
Steph.
NPCs movements are contrived and could be predicted where they're going to be, and their also footsteps tend to be silent, which would mean even though her abilities defy physics, she wouldn't be paying attention to a random NPC.
Be able to notice. You can't sense. Her ability was like a bloodlust that she would
Yeah.
be able to sense everyone else's actual bodies, like their body.
You couldn't sneak up on her because she sensed everything. But then
Whereas-
they used the one thing that couldn't be sensed to their advantage, the NPCs, and predicted their movements. I thought it was a great ending. The coin flip was bullshit though, so I'm
Yeah,
on that side.
The
I
other
thought
thing
the coin flip
is
was hilarious.
the other
Hilarious,
thing.
though, exactly.
So
But then
I haven't really said.
realize that comedy is important. He thinks that it all has to be Death Note.
I
No,
haven't really
but no,
said,
it's not true.
But I think I have kind of a middle of the road opinion. I actually agree that it's overrated. Looking at the mouse score, it's got an 8.39, and then my rating of it is a 7.5, which is good. But before you feel like, yeah, I was about to say, before you feel like I'm on your side, that's still 2.5 points higher than I gave After Story. So that's why I
Yeah,
said
just
it's middle of the
remind me, man, of that.
But no, I think that, I mean, it's good fun. It's got a great aesthetic. The animation is good. It's fun. It doesn't have anything really like meaty for me to get my hands into. You know, there's not much beyond, you know, I enjoy it. It's fun. It's just pretty to look at. I enjoy that. I think it does a great job of what it was trying to do. But for some reason, I do think it is in some circles seen as this sort of like second coming of Christ type of thing. I've seen so many videos where it's like, this is one of the greatest of all time. Buy the exclusive Shiro figure on Bookwalker.
Yeah, because that's why. It's because of Bookwalker. Not the thought that way. Bookwalker is sponsoring No Game No Life. Well, what a coincidence! No Game No Life's the best anime ever.
Well,
Yep.
hiding
I
in
would also
public,
like to say it doesn't
hiding
have
in
to be
public.
super deep.
I appreciated your impression of Anime Recon talking about High School DxD.
Oh, I wasn't doing that.
Because that's what it sounded like. You're like, it's great. No, but to me, like, I don't think No Game No Life is a bad show. I also enjoyed it. I thought it was cool, and I do get comedy nucks. I like One Punch Man.
Yeah, because you know that's comedy going in. You
Of
expect
course, but no, of course. One Punch Man, a lot of people will say, yo, this is bullshit because he's so OP and, like, you know, they don't like it. But I get that it's satire and I think it works. But with No Game No Life,
One Punch Man is one of the philosophically greatest series of our generation.
Yes,
and was
there is that.
spit on Kamina's corpse.
hold on, I'm just going to eject you from the stream now.
Bye, guys. It was a pleasure.
You dick! Fuck off! I don't see. Certain things do not get joked about, Nux. Certain
Said I
things,
was
man.
joking.
Don't wake the dragon, man. Anyway, if I can try to now refocus, like I said,
Oh my God, Gremlin's here. I will praise you.
I
Go
get
ahead,
One
Ant-Man.
Punch Man. I understand that it's comedy, and I like it. And I think it works. Again, No Game No Life. It's enjoyable. I don't hate it. I would also give it over a 7. But the thing with No Game No Life is that it just felt contrived to me. All the tropes, all the OP-ness, it felt a bit contrived, the otaku pandering. And I was not a big fan of the ridiculous colors palette. I thought it was
fucking
over the
loved it,
top.
but-
I thought it was the kind of shit that Digibro would get excited over, but not necessarily me.
I love the color
No
schemes.
reference.
I love the,
That's not a
like,
reference. to anything.
What do you mean?
No, but it's true. Some people, some YouTubers like Digibro, like colorful things like that. He likes the artistic aspect
The
of
aesthetic.
anime. I look at the philosophical stuff more, so that's my focus.
Well,
Well, I
sounds
can
like
understand why you
someone who
wouldn't like
doesn't
it.
appreciate comedy.
I feel like half the reason it's funny is because it's not deep. Their reasoning for wanting to beat the game is not deep at all, and the reason they're in
No.
the world in the first place is not deep at all, and that's fucking hilarious to me.
Yeah, and another thing I wanted to point out, how human Sora is. Like, he's a genius, and I get that. But he's there to have a good time. He's not trying to save humanity because, well, humanity's oppressed, and he will stand up for his fellow brethren. He will pick up the torch and save them. No, he doesn't care about any of that.
I am the
He's
god
having a
of the-
blast playing games, and he will wager his entire country for the fun of it, for the risk and the thrill.
Yo, how
He's not a
amazing was
nice
that
guy.
speech?
What?
I'm gonna make a
Oh,
video
that
about
speech
that
was
speech.
so damn good.
Okay, that speech cannot compare to any speech given by Emperor Charles Z. Britannia and Code Geass.
I hated his speeches.
Even Clovis,
No man! is
even
born
Clovis
equal.
has better speeches than Sora. But since you said what you said, Nux, I will just say this. You know what's underrated? Fucking Undertale. Overrated. Fucking Undertale is overrated, bro.
I see your subconscious mind took over there for a second. You said
No,
underrated.
don't
first.
Freud me. Don't
it is
you
underrated,
Freud me,
man.
man. Undertale is
Coming
fine,
from the
but
guy
I
who
just want
hasn't
to
seen
trigger
it.
you.
Took you this long to come up with the comeback for my comment of this?
I'm just gonna send you L'Oreal hentai now to trigger you.
Yummy.
To
Undertale.
trigger me? Why, thank you. Anyway.
Oh
that's
fuck, I
good.
misjudged you. Alright, never mind.
Well, anyway, I do like No Game No Life. I also wouldn't rate it an 8.4. I'd rate it higher. No, I don't know. I'm just kidding. But
Honestly, I think that's a pretty spot on. I would give it exactly an 8.4, guys.
honestly, I would also give it around an 8.4. I think it's a
I
pretty
would.
decent rating. I had a
It's
great
about-
time
it's
with it.
I think for
I had a,
now, it's
no,
overrated.
I think I would rate it lower. Maybe a bit low, maybe like an 8.2 or something. But I very much liked it. I very
I
much
think the
enjoyed
rating
it.
shouldn't go down once the second season comes out because I've read the light novels and the next part is kind of meh. But I think after that's gonna be even better. But you know,
Well, if there's ever a second season.
yeah, it's never happening.
But anyway, good try there, Animac. You almost convinced us.
Of what?
I mean, I'm convinced it's overrated. I just, I think I like it more than he does.
Yeah, I really liked it. And your argument saying that it's just like Sword Art Online. Well, I personally, I don't know about you, but I personally have more fun watching characters outsmart their opponents than beat them with swords. So as far as the pure mechanics, I do prefer No Game No Life.
Yeah,
I thought
it's better than SAO.
the writing was better, the comedy was much better, but there are elements to Sword Art Online that I like better out than No Game No Life too. Like whatever. I'm gonna have to make a video on Aincrad because Aincrad arc is, I think, underrated, so it can't be brought up on this stream. Whereas the rest of Sword Art Online is terrible. I'd say, well, not the rest. Gun Gale's pretty bad. Anyway, moving on. I think it's my turn. Animac, anything else you wanted to say?
Let's just move on. We're at it's 6:11 already.
I'm frustrating you.
We haven't
I
even
don't
got
know.
through all of ours once. It's already been an hour. This is a hype stream.
I don't know. Maybe we only do one each. Well, in that case, I pick Studio Trigger.
Just in general.
I hope you're triggered because every anime that pops out of Studio Trigger is overrated. Every single one. Now, if you wanted me to name specifics, I could say, for example, Kill la Kill.
Oh.
Okay, I expected this from this guy. Okay, the guy just
Try your
doesn't
best
get
shot, man.
doesn't get Kill la Kill. He doesn't get it. What's it ranked, by the way? What is it rated? Is anyone on?
I
Mal?
hope it's rated like
yeah, I'll find it.
high. That would be hilarious.
Kill la Kill.
8.2.
Yeah.
8.2.
Yeah,
Overrated.
I would rank it like in the high 8, and I think it's great. Again, it has philosophical aspects to it that Nux you have not contemplated.
I have contemplated. You told me like a dozen times.
Yes, have you contemplated truly Rousseau's amour propre and how it relates to the clothing and the animal and the aliens controlling the brains through the clothing, man, and Nudist Beach being our representation of, rejecting amour propre?
You told me this like a dozen times. How could I not contemplate this? I just think it was a bad anime. I thought humor-wise, I mean, I did enjoy it.
It was hilarious. It has great humor, Nux.
I would put it, maybe like a 7.3 if I was generous. But I thought that the animation was bad for most of it. I thought that the music was okay. I mean, I liked the Evil Ladies theme. Oh, what was that called? I don't remember. It had a German title. Dude, you're the Kill la Kill fan.
What are you talking about?
No, never mind. I like that. I like the Don't Lose Your Way theme. Music was okay. I thought the characters... I liked Gamaguri. I thought him and Mako, great ship. But the rest... steaming piles of meh. And Ryuka... and that weird, sex scene with Satsuki and her mom and that whole weird bathtub
But don't
thing.
you understand, man? It's saying that modern society corrupts our morals to such an extent that we engage in immoral hedonism because our minds are being controlled by these alien things such as clothes, which, force us to judge ourselves and our own identity by how others see us rather than intrinsically.
Dude, I get it. You've told me this so many times. I can disprove all of these points because I agree what you're trying to say is very cool. Very cool, anime. Very cool. But I don't think that Kill la Kill got that point across without some, decent mind bending trying to connect the dots.
Okay,
for example...
Sorry, let me say one thing. Regardless of the fact that, say it even got the philosophical meaning across, just because something is deep doesn't inherently make the series good. You still have to have likable characters and a good overarching story. Just because you reference or your overall meaning or metaphor of the series is deep doesn't mean it's an entertaining show.
No, I agree with you.
I dropped it.
Briggs,
I completely agree with
Briggs,
you.
I agree with you too. And I think Evangelion, one thing I love about it is the philosophical message and questions it raises, but I don't necessarily like the characters or relate to them at all. So in that aspect, I think Evangelion is overrated because I'm not a big fan
That's
of the characters.
hilarious because I
No.
think the characters in Evangelion are a million times better than the characters in Kill la Kill. Shinji's a great character, even though he's a bit of a pussy, but that's his character. He's a 14-year-old kid that's expected to save the world.
Anyway,
I
disagree.
I think Asuka, Rei,
I disagree.
old lady,
And
Shinji's father.
I don't know
they're
how
all
you
great
don't
characters.
appreciate the humor in Kill la Kill. The characters
I did appreciate
in
the
Kill la
humor. That was
Kill.
the best part. I would consider Kill la Kill, if I would recommend Kill la Kill, it would be as purely as a comedy, a slapstick comedy. And that's why it gets its massive score of 7.3.
I just want to make sure that this hot take doesn't slide by. I think you're absolutely wrong about Evangelion, unless you're talking about the rebuilds. Evangelion is the best. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not overrated at all in any way whatsoever. No.
I mean, overall, I wouldn't say
not
it's...
really on the topic, but yes, we appreciate it.
By the way,
sure it didn't slip
currently
by.
on my phone, it says my internet isn't even working. So if I end up just disconnecting, I don't know what the fuck's going on, just so you guys know. Cave Croc, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Overall, I don't think Evangelion is overrated because the philosophical message and the end of Evangelion movie literally floored me. Like, I lied down on the floor and I was like,
Yes.
this was fucking amazing, man.
Yes.
But I didn't relate to the characters, and I thought that Shinji was too much of a bitch, although I understand his situation. And all the it's almost like, I realized it's that type of world, but like all the characters kind of like hiding in public had an issue with Clannad having like every character having like this tragic backstory. I feel like that Evangelion was like that too. Everyone was this like tortured soul to the point that you kind of were desensitized to it by the end.
But it was
I
like tortured
don't
in
hear
ways
that.
that are like average and human to like
Yeah,
the average
completely.
person. They weren't like, my sister was in a coma for 40 years. My mom died. It wasn't like, very surface level tragic. It was like just general fights with the human spirit that most people go through in their lives. So it was like something that allowed more deep philosophical. I'm sorry, I just don't want to compare Clannad to Ava. Ava's so much better.
Yeah.
Don't worry, after this we'll misquote you as saying the opposite.
Well, in any case, my choice here was not particularly to bash on Kill la Kill because we've discussed Kill la Kill in the past, and just because it references really cool philosophical elements, none of it was actually shown in the story. Like, I didn't take away any of these philosophical messages from the story itself. The fact that amour propre had to do with any of the aliens controlling clothes, it just kind of seemed like a really harebrained scheme that the writer came up with to kind of have evil mom be evil and somehow introduce aliens like he does in every single one of his works.
Well, you have to...
Darling in the Franxx. Aliens show up at the end with absolutely no references to them beforehand. Gurren Lagann. What? They're aliens at the end. That's insanity. No one ever saw that one coming.
Can you stop spoiling everyone for everything? Anyways, the point is...
These aren't spoilers. You should know ahead of time.
The point is that you can't understand the philosophical messages if you're not thinking about them. If you're not thinking about them and you don't think about philosophy, you can't understand. To me, it's blatant. To me, it's blatant that they choose fashion and clothes as the device for mind control. Like, that to me is blatant because it is basically what society is. You're being controlled through propaganda, through commercialism. Because you want others to see you in a certain way, you behave that way, which you are expected to, and that benefits certain people, and they profit off of it, and you are basically a slave and you don't even know it. Everyone in the chat who's saying shit to trigger me like Gurren Lagann is bad or Kill la Kill is bad is a fucking slave to the consumerist society, bro. Wake up, take the red pill. You're in the Matrix, man. You're in the Matrix, man.
You should make your hair more frizzy for these streams. Like, just, ruffle it up so it's like has strands going everywhere.
It didn't start out this way, Nox. It didn't start out, but you did this to me. You did this to me, man.
Well, in any case, I agree that these are cool philosophical ideas. I just didn't see them in the story as I was going through it without actually really thinking about it. And then, the philosophical idea is good. Did the story tell it in a good way? I did not think so. I thought it was... And there were metaphors everywhere. I'm not going to say that there were none. Like, for example, in this Warring School arc. Remember the Warring School arc, Animac? One of the worst arcs of all time. You remember the Warring School arc?
I enjoyed it. They took it to the east, guys.
So anyway, they fought in the Warring School arc. And one school, they all had like these rule books. These books with like rules in it that you shouldn't break the rules. And they would use these rule books as their weapons. Because the rules are ironclad. Did you get that, Animac? They're ironclad. So they would use them to block lasers and stuff. And destroy cars.
Yeah, it's called being hilarious.
I didn't find it funny. I just thought it was like, oh, is this supposed to be a metaphor or something? Oh, okay.
The whole thing is hilarious. It's a satire.
I found No Game No Life infinitely funnier than Kill la Kill.
The whole thing is satire of the high school genre by taking it to an absurd level, and I love it. And thank you, Girthy, for donating more magical crystals to calm me down.
Yummy.
Well, in any case, I wasn't talking about Kill la Kill alone. I was talking about all of Studio Trigger, because every single anime that they've ever made is overrated.
Well, to be fair, I'm not in love with any other ones other than Kill la Kill. So
What
far,
other anime have they created?
Hold on,
hoping
I gotta
Promare will change that.
One second, I gotta go look up.
Am I wrong?
How do you look up Studio Trigger? I'll just look up Kill la Kill and then click on it.
Oh yeah, I guess that was Gainax. Never mind.
Top 10 anime made by Trigger. Ooh.
Is it, no, top 10 anime made by.
No, like
I
obviously.
just looked at my Mal and I gave it a 6. On Mal, I gave it a 6. I was being so nice saying 7.3.
The Devil of the Part-Timers by Studio Trigger. Not
No, it's
underrated. Not
It's
overrated
not.
at
It's
all.
not. It's not.
Well, what the fuck is this
Devil's a
listing?
Part-Timer is not Studio Trigger. That's incorrect. I've looked through this. They're all terrible. All right. We got Kill la Kill. Little Witch Academia, which honestly, the 2-episode OVA was good. The 25-episode anime was not that great. We had Space Patrol Luluko, which was way funnier than Kill la Kill. And I think, actually, you're right. I would not say this was overrated. It didn't get really any hype, and it was okay. Darling in the Franxx. The first half I thought was pretty good because I did like the philosophical messages about relationships in it, and it was obvious that that was the point they were trying to get across, that it's not all about sex, it's about compatibility. Very cool, Darling in the Franxx. Very cool. Unfortunately, second half of Darling in the Franxx was a disaster. Kisniver had the single worst philosophy in any anime I've ever watched in my entire life. The philosophy was you get these 8 guys or 6 guys or whatever, and you attach this probe to them that every time any of them feels pain, all that pain is felt by all of them. So if one of them accidentally dies, they all accidentally die. And that is supposed to bring them to friendship, even though whenever they get pissed, they hurt themselves, and all 6 of them get annoyed because they all feel that same pain. Of course, they're geniuses, and they find this one suicidal guy to make part of their group that's constantly trying to kill himself and kill everyone else by himself dying. Worst philosophy in all of anime. We have SSSS Gridman, which I think everyone agrees is only good because of what's-her-face's thighs, whereas the rest of the anime is Rika's thighs. And I'm looking through all of them. Inferno Cop with some of the greatest animation known to mankind. We have Inoue Battle, which I have never heard of before in my life. And everything else. Ninja Slayer. I take it back, Inferno Cop. Your animation is pretty good compared to Ninja Slayer. Ninja Slayer was an absolute dumpster fire.
Anyway, Nux. Whatever.
That was my little trigger rant.
I'm not triggered about your trigger rant. But I think that this topic is so interesting that we should just do another episode sometime in the future and stop it here.
I think that's a good
yeah?
idea.
Also, I can't handle right now. I can't handle right now.
I've never finished a single anime from them.
Briggs,
You're a good man, Briggs.
Briggs, I can't handle right now what your second choice would have been. Like, I can't do it. So let's just save it for next time.
So we're gonna do a sequel one?
Oh yeah, we
yeah.
gotta do a sequel. 'Cause
Hell
there's-
yes.
Let's just you guys didn't like that I said Naruto. Just wait until you hear my next choice next week. Oh
Yeah,
my
let's
lord.
let's do it next
I
time just
disagree
because
with that one
I have
too.
to prepare. I have to prepare.
Yo,
for
did
this.
you watch the 3rd season?
Yeah,
Really?
I think it's uphill. I think it goes uphill every season, but
Oh.
every single season's still overrated.
All right, we shall talk about that next time.
I'm glad you stick to your guns, man. Even
Hiding
though
in
it
public.
disagree.
You do you have anything else you want to say before we wrap it up? Because I know you've been the most polite one here.
Have I?
Yeah, you've been
Yeah,
polite.
We're used to each
You weren't
other's
yelling over
shenanigans.
anyone. People were yelling over you when you wanted to say stuff. So I want to give you a chance to say something if you have anything to add or before we wrap it up.
Oh, if you have a bad take on Ava, don't reproduce.
I love you, man.
I guess that's all.
But Ava is top 10 for me, just to clarify.
Okay, great.
Can we hear your top 10? Like, no order, just generally your top 10.
Okay, so Ava would be in there. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Clannad After Story, Gurren Lagann, of
Mention Gurren
course,
Lagann- Okay.
Death Note, Fully Cooley. I'm not counting these now, so I don't know where I am.
That's 6.
Okay, Code Geass probably. Mushishi, Cowboy Bebop.
Mm.
Do I need one more?
Yeah, it's 9.
I'm gonna end up forgetting stuff. Probably Death Note, but I'm gonna end up like I'm.
You
I'm
said
sure there's
Death Note already. So.
Oh, did I? Oh, yeah.
Sorry, it's a pretty good list.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm
We're
actually
not
surprised.
trying to quiz you here. Just
No, I know. I never think about it because it's so hard.
Yeah. I'm much more of a fan of like listing. my
He's
favorites
looking
than-
around, looking for inspiration.
Yeah, I'm looking around my room. If it was manga, I would also add Attack on Titan, but for anime, probably not.
This latest season of Attack on Titan was pretty hype. But
No,
yes,
no,
the
I know,
manga
but
does
like
get better.
overall.
Okay. It's all good, man. We
Yeah.
won't hold it against you that you can only think of 9.
It's tough because like I like Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. I like Angel Beats. I like
Angel Beats
Hey.
is pretty overrated.
Did you notice what wasn't in his top 10?
yeah, Kill la Kill is not in my top 10 probably.
Garbage.
But plot top 20, yeah, bish.
Well, in any case, with all that said and done, I actually wanted to mention this when you were arguing about Clannad, like talking about characters that actually undergo tragedies and work to fulfill them. I could talk about Seven Deadly Sins in that respect, because each of them goes through a bit of a mental breakdown, and each have their own psychological issues that they have to work through. But I also wanted to say Berserk is something that Animac has to read. Please read it, man.
Hey,
You're
this
killing
isn't called
yourself here.
the most overrated manga stream, bro.
Please read it, man.
I will eventually. I have to catch up to a bunch of other stuff, but I definitely will. That's one of my musts for sure. Like you don't have to worry.
The thing is, for me, as far as manga that I know I need to read, but I just don't have time, I need to read Kingdom. I need to read it. Like, I hear
Agreed.
such great things about it. I need to read Kingdom.
Kingdom and Berserk, I have to read. I 100%.
You have to read Berserk before Kingdom, because it's amazing. I have to read Kingdom. I have to read Vagabond. And there was one other manga on my list. I don't remember.
Vinland Saga.
Vinland Saga. That was it. Those were the 3.
Read Pun Pun if you haven't.
I have not.
It'll ruin you.
Uh-oh. That's pretty hype.
But did you ever watch the Cory in the House anime?
Yeah, from what I understand, the sub was better.
Yeah, it's
It was
actually
pretty good, but I like Seinfeld better.
It's actually better than the manga, though. Surprisingly, one of those rare occurrences.
Yeah.
And just like that, guys.
All right, yeah, let's wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will re-upload this episode to the Rank of Fate channel, and there I will have links to everyone's channel, including Hiding in Public, All Day Anime, and Nux Taku, who is wrong about Kill la Kill. And as always, thank you guys for joining us, for donating magic crystals, for chatting, for, hanging out, for trying to trigger me by saying lies in the chat, which are just lies, and everyone knows you're lying, you liars. Anyways, until next time, everybody. See ya, Space Cowboys. Bang. Kill la Kill rules.